Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ZombiesLvBacon podcast, episode 32. Still going strong, though, not cancelled yet. One day, I think. We are joined again today by Shelby.
What's up? I'm back.
I don't know why she said she's back. She's here pretty much every week.
What's up? I'm back. No, sometimes I'm missing.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes you replace me with the blokes. And
speaking of blokes, here's Smeeech.
Hello, I'm a bloke.
It's true. It's true. I just
tested.
Yeah, you got more on that later. And based on the last two podcasts that were basically all about New World, we found someone in New World, pulled them out, and stuck them on the podcast, and that is Once Was Pie. Hi, Pie.
Hey, I'm less of a bloke, more of a guy.
Oh, all right. What's the difference?
One doesn't drink beer.
I don't drink beer.
Which one doesn't drink beer?
What, guys? I'm assuming? I'm
I love
confusing
that's
myself
the
here.
distinction. That's the distinction between them. That's great.
Am I a guy and not a bloke?
You're a guy.
You're a
Do you
guy.
drink beer?
No, not really. No.
How do you have
Do
an
you
accent like that and don't drink beer?
I gave it up a very long time ago.
Okay, so you did drink beer.
I did drink beer. You know.
Right, there you go. That's the difference. I think guys don't drink beer.
You're reformed now.
I'm reformed.
I don't drink beer. What am I?
A guy.
Apparently, I'm a guy.
I was like, as I was growing up, I'm like, beer's disgusting. I'm never touching that stuff. I've had good beer since.
Now, every time I'm trying to buy you beer, I'm always asking the people, "Can you get me what's a nice beer, like fancy craft beer? Give me something."
Just to be clear, I prefer not beer, but I have there is good beers, but I won't sit there and drink 24 of them. I can't do that. You just feel like shit.
Definitely, usually buy a nice 6-pack of a local craft beer kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit different if you're at the pub and you're downing a chicken parma at the same time. It's a little bit different, but
It is, yeah.
My
brother's gone to that level of past craft beer to a whole new realm of it's like that
Is he brewing beer in his bathroom?
No, he's buying beer that's in bottled in champagne bottles.
Yeah,
and is foraged, locally foraged.
So it's the hipster beers.
Super hipster.
Yeah.
Super hipster.
Super sustainable.
Very sustainable.
The scary thing about that is, because I don't always agree with that super hipster mentality, because there's a bit of pretentiousness to it, and but at the same time, some of those beers are fucking delicious.
Yeah, it was actually really good. He sent me a bottle, and I'm not really a drinker of it, but it's you've got to try it. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I actually poured the whole thing out. I've got a stein that takes a litre of beer. So I poured it out into that, and then I was like, it's basically tasted like cider and champagne mixed with beer.
Yeah,
but it was
I know the sort.
Decent.
Yeah.
It was decent. But I couldn't drink a litre of it, so I gave some to my wife, and she fucking hates beer, and she drank it.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah.
It makes you wonder, particularly when you get a lot of these craft beers and stuff like that, and we've talked about Mountain Goat because they're our local brewed beer, I guess, around here. And you taste it, you go, wow, this is really good. Why does everyone else drink that other shit then?
Yeah.
But now Mountain Goat's gotten to the point where it's saturated as well, it's everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I guess people realize that you don't have to drink Tuies or whatever the fuck, Fosters or
Fosters? What the fuck?
Fosters.
Does anyone drink Fosters?
No, it's
According
fake.
to America, we do. So
It's
in England, it was a fucking shit advert.
It's shit effort everywhere.
The advert was this guy cooking shrimp on the Barbie. That was the big point.
You mean Paul Hogan?
And then he drinks a Foster. A kangaroo would jump up and punch him in the face, and then it'd be like, "He who drinks Australian thinks Australian." That was it. That was the advert.
What I love about this, right? What I love about this, fucking the English see that, they go, "What a pack of fucking wankers!" No, I'm not drinking that shit. The America sees that oh my god, it's amazing. I'm gonna buy myself some Fosters and punch a kangaroo. It's
I would not want to take a kangaroo on.
Yeah, it's.
But fuck no.
To the earlier point, a lot of people, I think, like olives and stuff like that, it's a desired taste that doesn't happen until you much mature. I don't see I see many like 12-year-old boys going, hell yeah, give me a can of olives. That'll be sick.
So I thought you were going to say a can of beer, and it's just like,
but it's the same
of course
thing.
they're not asking for a can of beer.
Hey, I'm going to scale back here a minute. Eladi, you don't eat olives.
Yeah, and I told her I didn't want to drink beer, but maybe it's time for the olives to come back around.
All right, I'm going to buy you some olives.
There's only one thing that I really hate.
What is it?
Mushrooms.
All right, well,
fair. That's fair.
What do you mean it's fair?
Mushrooms are the freaking worst.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Do you know that pretty much beer is like mold spores? Like most yeast is created from that.
Well, yeast is yeast.
Are you saying that they can make beer out of mushrooms?
They make beer mostly out of fucking yeast.
Yeah, but not mushrooms.
Yeah, which is cultivated usually from a mushroom. So, like,
well, I guess I'm not drinking beer anymore. You ruined it for me.
We can dial this back. You did mention before having beer with a partner at the pub.
Yeah.
We can go to pubs soon.
We can.
I feel like we should update people on that because us Melburnians are
well, let's to be clear. All right, I just want to draw a very distinct line in reality. All right, that's right. I'm drawing lines in reality now. This time last year, we would look at the COVID numbers every day, and we'll be like, okay, well, there's been one single case 7 kilometers to our northwest, so we don't go that way anymore. And then fast forward to today, there's thousands of cases every day. The number doesn't really fucking matter because once it hits 1,000, it's 1,000. It's whatever. The news conferences, no one really tunes in. Actually, the news articles, there's more news articles about fucking what the football players are wearing at the beach on their fucking holiday or whatever than there is about actual COVID numbers because they're so bad and they've lost track of where all the COVID cases are. But anyway, we're going to open up. So, no more lockdown.
Whereas on the opposite side of things, I'm down here in Tasmania, and we had one guy who came down from New South Wales who tested positive, who broke out of quarantine, and now the whole southeast of the state
went around kissing everyone on the mouth.
Yeah. So we had one guy, and we had 3 days. We're in the middle of 3 days of lockdown.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to put a bit of context. How many days in total lockdown does that make it?
Oh, like 3. Including last year, it's like 30, maybe.
Okay. Do you know Sydney's been in lockdown more than Melbourne? Just going to throw that out before.
Don't get out of here.
Melbourne was the longest lockdown in the world.
Yeah, we were locked down all last year, bro. Fucking hell.
Yeah. No.
You guys are fine.
I read it in the news. It has to be true.
Oh, okay. Front page?
Yeah, it was front page.
Also, sorry, back to my line of reality. The front page of the Herald Sun or something yesterday was a Harvey Norman advert. It wasn't even anything to do with COVID. That's how much we give a shit about COVID anymore. They're just literally giving up. Some whole page about going shopping at Harvey Norman. Who didn't they get like fucking $1 squillion from the government for COVID?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Fucking Jerry Harvey the mole. Anyway, fuck you, Jerry.
I talked to someone from Tasmania about this lockdown thing, and they were like, "We need to get this guy's details right away." And I'm like, "You can't be trusted with this."
No
guy's
one.
name.
There's a reason they don't even.
And his name is public knowledge down here.
I'm sure it is, but it's like
well,
they don't.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like last time that happened, fucking some poor woman's house in Melbourne got burnt down and her car because she went to Adelaide and spread COVID. So they burnt her fucking house down.
What about the Sydney fucking the driver who's like, oh, it wasn't me, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, he got fucked up too, didn't he?
Yeah. He's like, he just got death threats constantly and had to go into fucking witness protection or some shit. It's fucking wild. Anyway,
Australians can't be trusted with a name of someone that potentially has done something. Right?
No, it's there's definitely what do they call it? Fucking public justice or
mob mentality.
Very mob mentality.
It's
anyway, scary.
Going back to the point, even though Victoria's completely fucked and we are in lockdown and everything else, they're convinced that enough people have had the jab that not many people will die now. So it's time to open back up. And like, as much as it's a concern in the sense that, hey, still thousands of people that have got it, which is a lot more than last year even. But sure, open up. I do see that the economic system around Melbourne in particular is really starting to fucking just tire.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like, because we live right next to a shopping center, quite a big one, and it has a lot of stores, yes, but since this last lockdown, that's when people just threw in the towel. They just said, "Nah, we can't stay open anymore. We can't pay rent while we're doing click and collect or whatever the fuck." But there's about 13 stores I counted that are closed there now. Some of them big ones, and a lot of them like variety stores, like $2 shops and stuff like that. They're gone, packed up, left, gone. So when that place opens up again, it's going to be lots of just empty stores. Yeah. Having said that, we got 13 closed and 1 open, which was the JB Hi-Fi, which opened like a week before lockdown and went straight into click and collect.
Ooh.
So kind of rough, but.
Yeah, it's nice in there. I'm sure it's great.
Also, I'm pretty sure I was reading that JB Hi-Fi like smashed their fucking figures because of lockdown and the amount of people buying at-home office gear, TVs,
and entertainment. Yeah, because I think a lot of people realize, and I've talked about this before. A lot of people have realized they don't have hobbies that they can do at home.
Yeah, they literally. There's people that they treat their home like a hotel. That's where they go, they bath, they eat, they sleep, they get up, they leave. And like their day is, cafe, work, gym, fucking, it's nothing at home. And then when they get told you must stay home, they're like, well, fuck, there's nothing home for me.
So you say bath, like they bath.
Like bathe, like clean yourself.
Oh, bathe. Because I was going to say they treat the like a hotel, they shower. Like, is it?
But you know how, like, when you go
in your head, they're a bath person.
When you go on holidays, right? You don't spend the entire holiday in your hotel. Like, that's just like fucking base camp. You go there, get shit done, get out, and just spend the whole day wandering around. Basically, people live their lives like that. Not me. I'm a nesting guy.
We like our home. Yeah. This kind of came up because I have all these coworkers, and workers where. I meet people I don't usually talk to, and I wouldn't usually go out of my way to be friends with. And I'm not saying that they're bad people, but we're just different. And a lot of what I've kind of realized is that they don't have things they can do at home, and like they're just like, I really want to if somebody wants to stick around and just like have a chat after work, and they're in the work chats like in our video calls until like 8 o'clock at night or more, just drinking wine and talking because they have no one else to talk to. They have nothing else to do.
So will these chats continue once we come out of lockdown, or what do they do?
I think they'll just go back to hanging out at pubs and going out with friends and doing gym and things like that. But it's just it's a bit interesting as well because they kind of have a tendency to slightly like low key shame me every time I say, "Oh, sorry, I can't stick around for too long. I've got something to do after work."
Okay, all right. So question, Meech, you're out of lockdown, yeah? Now you had Freedom Day.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did after Freedom Day? Costco?
Yeah, I went to Costco. I did. That was literally it. Yeah, I went to Costco to buy more stuff that makes me stay at home. I literally
Was it busy? Was it packed?
Oh
really?
No, it was just Costco. Like
just
normal
Costco level. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Costco level for sure, but it wasn't like holy shit. There's a lot of people here. Yeah, honestly, I've being in lockdown, everyone's like, oh, this is so hard, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, nothing's fucking changed apart from that I can't go shopping at the same time my wife does.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that changed for me. But for other people, it's like, I can't fucking get a beer, mate, in the pub, fuck! Oh, my life's ruined.
The beer thing doesn't bother me so much. Yes, I miss it, but it's like, I'm fine without it. The thing that pisses me off is I could really just, I wanted to buy a beanbag. I'm like, well, this is going to be a fucking exercise in lockdown to get a beanbag. Where it's, I wanted to sit on the fucking beanbag, all right? But it's like, it's so simple. Like, you just normally just go to Kmart, buy a beanbag. But now I'm like trying to organize fucking delivery and find people that deliver. And I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. I just want to go to the shops and buy it. I know how to. But yeah, that was the only thing that like frustrated me. Otherwise, like, I don't need a beanbag, so I'm fine. But it's like, yeah, it's
You wanted to and you normally could, but now you can't. So now it's frustrating.
So now that it's frustrating because it's used to be such a simple fucking process, and then it was literally 2 months of arguing with people just to get a fucking beanbag, and then in the end, we talked about it in last week's episode of the podcast, but fuck Kmart's customer service are done with life. I think they're just a bunch of assholes now. So, but I can only imagine how many dickheads they got to deal with a day. So.
A lot of people in retail are just like they've got to this point where they've actually started to realize we could talk to people like the police talk to people now. Like,
this was like I was continuously gaslit by their fucking customer service, who basically just kept on telling me that I need to learn how to order stuff properly. When I was like, I didn't make the mistake. Anyway, we won't go over it again because I was on the podcast, but basically they didn't put my address on the thing and they just sent it out into oblivion and then kept on telling me it's my fault that I didn't put the address on it.
Sounds like your fault.
And then the icing on the cake was like, if you don't want it, just send it back. I'm like, I can't get it. You didn't send it to me in the first place. So now that we're kind of come out of lockdown and stuff, the question is, what do we do with our Freedom Day, which is now next Friday is Freedom Day. I already know that the gaming bars that have obviously been doing it tough, particularly places like Fortress, who made this huge bar and then have done nothing but been in lockdown with it. And like the first time they announced it was last year, and they did their whole launch party, and then we went into lockdown a week later. And then they had the Christmas sort of 2 months of okayness to do it, and then they went in lockdown again. So it's like they've done nothing. And like I've been talking to them, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't wait to open up. We've got a lot of big plans. We're gonna get some shit happening." And then you got people like GGEZ, which is a smaller sort of just a gaming esports bar where you drink and watch esports, and like those guys have been like, "We've fucking done nothing for a year." It kind of sucks. And like things like PAX is their sold out weekend, and they didn't get a PAX for 2 years now. So a lot of people are like, we're going to the bar, we're going to go drink and support these guys and everything else. I know I need a haircut. Shelby needs a haircut pretty badly.
Oh yeah, you were very specific about telling me I need a haircut.
Well, I didn't want to say that I need a haircut because my hair looks horrific because you cut it, but
now you have said that. So,
but the first thing I said when I said, "Hey, we're going to be getting out soon," and he goes, "Yeah, you should go."
You said, "Hang on." You said, "I don't know," because it's kind of scary because there's so many people still infected and whatever. And I said, "Yeah, but you need a haircut." That's what I said, and you said, "Yes, I do," because you do.
Yeah, but you should be like, "Hello, beautiful girlfriend. I think you are stunning, amazing goddess. Please go to the hairdressers." You have to soften the blow.
I mean, honestly, you look like you didn't want to get up today.
Okay, listen. I'm married, right? Like I'm experienced in this. Like, just literally always just say they're beautiful, and you will never.
You saying you should lie, Meech?
About that, yeah.
Like, he's not the most complimentary person.
Hey. I looked at myself in the mirror today and thought, fuck, I shouldn't have got up. But Shelby played this great prank on me where she told me that there was a parcel downstairs for me.
I did not say that.
But it wasn't for me. It was for her. But I was the one who went and got it because I thought.
I had my issue. I had to wake up because the guy was buzzing the intercom, and I went and I ran to the little screen on the wall, and I pressed the button and said, "Good morning." I don't know why I said good morning to him because I was just fucking exhausted. And then he just goes, "Parcel for you," and then hangs up the intercom. And I was like, "Oh god, I hope he puts it in the right spot."
Yeah, well, it was
my postie does this as well, but just once, someone delivered something that said Pokemon card on it, right? So every time he buzzes, he's going, "Hey, Mitch, got another Pokemon card for you." And then I'm like, thanks, mate. Thank you. Yeah, just leave it by the door.
At the peak of this lockdown, so like 2 weeks in, the guy I was like leaving the house, and he had a van, and the entire van was for this building. He had so much stuff, and it was like I couldn't get out the door. Like, I had to move parcels out of the way, let me out. And I'm like, "Is any of this for me?" He's like, "I don't fucking know." It's just buzzing, and he wasn't even talking to anyone on the intercom. He was just smashing the keys as quick as he could, Like you go, did it, and then just throw it into the door, and then did it, throw it in the door, and I'm like, this guy is not having a good day. And also, we all
none of them are.
Nah,
none of them haven't. No.
Nah.
Are you like a particularly big building or?
Yeah, it's 250 apartments.
Okay, holy crap.
And basically it's split in the middle. So if you're on the south entrance side, you have to access via south only because you can't really easily get into the north side. So the problem we're having with that is that delivery drivers, even though the mailroom is south side, Uber drivers keep going to north side and like trying to give us food there. And I've started.
We write them a full note, and they still go to the wrong entrance because they're paid to deliver, not to read. All right.
So when they actually like buzz the intercom or they message me on Uber Eats app, like telling me where I've started just like, because I used to walk all the way to get my food. I've started just digging my feet in the ground, just being like, no, you're at the wrong entrance. I think I've even written in the delivery instructions, if you see the Coles loading dock, you've gone too far. Turn around and go back the other way.
I literally put the building name, the entrance name, everything on. Still go to the wrong entrance.
Says, look for the glass double doors next to the garage door entrance. It should say south on the side on the wall. It's the mail room. If you see Coles, you've gone too far. Come back the other way. I had a
guy who was standing at the entrance, or the wrong entrance, and he's like, "This is a weird looking mail room." It's like, that's because it's not the mail room.
We have a photo of our door as our picture.
Yeah, that's probably that might help. Take a photo of the entrance and say, "Look, it looks like this." But yeah, I don't know, like because I only moved in here like a year ago, so I was house hunting a lot. And there's a place across the road, similar, very similar, and it's got a mail. Like you walk into the entrance, and then there's a whole room that's just mail for like parcels and everything in there. And it's actually manned. Like they have a concierge who fucking looks after it all. And apparently they even have issues. Like the mailman would just not come in the first entrance. They'll be like, "Well, can't do anything about it," and just leaves. I don't know, but it's whatever. We've harped on so much about Australia Post in the past. I'm surprised they haven't sent us a cease and desist or a stop.
No, they'll probably send you a gold fucking Rolex watch like they did with fucking every other.
I was gonna say they probably sent it, but it never made it to me because I wasn't home apparently. Even though I'm in lockdown and can't leave, but that's fine. Fucking idiots. I have no idea how much mail and shit that's just gone missing. Like I know there's a couple things. It's like I've been fucking waiting for a PSP battery for fucking nearly 6 months now. I'm sure that got sent back, sent to the wrong place or something. It's I don't know. I'm not going to pick on Australia Post anymore. I'm done with them. Anyway, what I was going to ask, in particular to Shelby, what with Freedom Day? What's the first thing you're going to do with Freedom Day? Nothing.
We still have to wear a mask, right?
I don't fucking know. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you have to.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I would probably go to work, but but I'm customer service on the phone, and we still have to wear a mask in the office. It doesn't quite work.
That really sounds pretty sad, actually.
Yeah, that's lame. I was gonna say go to the movies, but that's fine. You go to work. I'm gonna go.
I've been to my office. I've been to my office twice, but yes, I would like to go see that movie.
I'm gonna see Chun-Chi. I want to see Venom. I kind of want to see Venom 2, but also people have really ragged on how bad Venom 2 is. So
fuck people when they're fucking reviews. Honestly, like that's all I'm saying.
Have you watched Venom 1?
Yeah.
It's kind of. It's not great.
It's not like no, it's not bad. It's not bad, right?
I really like Tom Hardy. That's the only reason why I liked that movie and thought it was okay. Was Tom Hardy. If that was someone else, like a nothing, that movie would not. He carried it.
He did. He looked like shit the whole time, and it was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a proper actor. Like if they tell him that you're playing a homeless guy or whatever, it's not like Tom Cruise. He's like, all right, I'm a homeless guy now. But he's like, Tom, you look exactly the same as you do in every other movie. He's like, yeah, but I'm homeless. it's Tom Hardy's proper. He fucking just gets into the role and sticks with it. Yeah, apparently
someone shitted on another movie and they said, "Oh, there was bad reviews. I'm not going to watch it." I went, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's like one of the and you'll fucking agree with me. Someone said Tenet was shit, and I'm like, "No, you're shit." Tenet's not shit. You're shit.
Yeah.
You're shit.
So this is the way. All right, this is the way it works. So I used to do film reviews back in the day, like print reviews, and I was horrible at it because I fucking I love everything. Right? It's just like I couldn't shit can any movies. And I remember I went with this other guy who was actually like he's a director, like he's had published movies and everything else. So he's an actual film director. and we went and saw I'm going to pick on fucking Tom Cruise again, but the War of the Worlds remake.
Movie. I like that.
And I watched it, and like I read up on it and studied like all the history and the lore and shit around War of the Worlds and everything else. So I was pretty clued up with it. Watched it all. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was that bad at all. I can understand from a perspective of it doesn't hit the same because it's a remake, and it's not an original IP or whatever. Anyway, as we're walking out of the cinema, my mate looks at me. He goes, "Don't you fucking dare give this a positive review." He said that was hot garbage. And so I gave it a positive review because I'm like, it's entertaining, And the first thing they teach you when you study film and stuff is there's a difference between a good movie and an entertaining movie. Yeah. Like Venom is not not a good movie, but it is entertaining. Like you will sit through and you watch it and you go now. Because I want to make a distinction here because when I say like I've heard shit things, it's never. I don't watch reviews or do any of that shit anymore because I don't like reviews at all. And call me a hypocrite if you like, but what I do watch is like tear down, breakdown, lore breakdowns, where they're like where the source material is being like converted properly, if it could be done better, if directors and all that shit, like all the behind the scenes shit that goes to like something like a Suicide Squad, the first movie, how that turned out. Like the story about the Suicide Squad is a better story than the actual movie. Because that movie,
that's a really low bar.
I walked out of that fucking cinema and I went, I could do better.
So you would have reviewed it and given Suicide Squad.
But the review's not the movie. The review is this is what went wrong, because what went wrong was a lot of people with a lot of different visions and a lot of different editors in particular went through that movie and just chopped it to pieces. Like it's literally like they were trying to make a cake, but they've already chopped chunks out of it and sitting on the floor, and people trying to pick up pieces off the floor and put it back on the cake and say, "Here, it's good. It's still good. Look at it." That's Suicide Squad. Anyway, Tenet is the greatest example of if you're a film reviewer and you watched fucking Suddenly 30 and you've got mail and then you watch Tenet, like you're gonna be like, nah, my brain can't compute this much information. This is garbage, and review it terribly. Where if you were to go and watch Tenet, and I know people that do this, if you want to watch Tenet like 6 times in a row, you would see a new part of that movie every single time because the attention, the detail, and the depth in that movie is insane.
Insane. It is insane.
It's like they went through it and watched it frame by frame to make sure that all the frames are all completely coherent. Because, and like, no spoilers on the movie, but basically the whole gist of the movie is that there's
sorry, no spoilers for the movie, but the whole gist of the movie
gist. Well, you get it from no spoils, but the gist of the movie is that there's things going backwards in time, like ammunition and stuff like that, and they're trying to figure out the whole mystery around that. But what that leads to is that a good portion of the movie, like half of it, is filmed in reverse at the same time the movie is moving forwards, which sounds like fucking craziness to begin with, but they do it, and they pulled it off, and it happens. Like, legit, no worries. That's a fantastic movie. But I could just imagine there being, and I'm not trying to like stereotype the reviewers, but I can imagine a lot of reviewers going, "This is the most complicated thing I've seen in my life." Like, entire life. Fantastic movie. If you've seen Interstellar or any of the other sort of like Nolan kind of movies and stuff, you know exactly what you're in for, and then more, basically. But like, if you told someone to explain that to someone like in the 90s, like, hey, we're going to make a movie that's both forwards and backwards at the same time, they would just be like, no, you're not doing that.
Well, I hadn't seen the movie yet, but now I'm going to I have to go see it.
Just be aware, strap yourself in. It is about 3 hours long.
Okay, I fell asleep, not because it was a bad movie, but I just fell asleep.
My favorite part about Shelby's thing is she was watching it, she's falling asleep, and I'm like, you should go to bed. And you're like, no, I'll watch it all. I'm like, there's an hour and a half to go. She's like, what? And she literally goes to sleep at the point where the movie starts to turn around and start explaining all the shit. So Shelby saw a different movie, basically.
But I saw Infinity War in cinemas twice.
Yeah.
But like, and that's a long movie. I fell asleep during the second viewing. It was like, I was just,
again,
it's tiring.
That's a movie where the whole first time you watch that is a spectacle, and then the second time you see the detail. You know, it's kind of nuts. But yeah, there's a couple guys I listen to who do podcasts, and they'll pick a movie and then they'll just watch that movie over and over again for their whole week, like 5, 6, 7 times, just to get absolutely all the details to it.
Just soak it all in.
Yeah.
Speaking of soaking.
Oh God.
No.
You're really going for that segue?
No, I'm not. No, I won't. Yeah. I just don't believe reviews anymore. I don't believe reviews at all. I've gone to the point where I think my opinion's better than everyone else's. That's like literally, I've got to that age where I think my opinion.
Well, okay. I have a question then. So when you say reviews don't matter, like you don't like reviews. So if IGN reviewed a movie, you're just like fuck off IGN, basically.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So
IGN can fucking Mormon soak themselves every day.
Stop trying to fucking segue to that. But if you so the next question, all right, then who do you listen to for like movie recommendations and stuff like that?
No one.
So you look at the cover. You look at Netflix. How do you pick a movie?
Trailer.
I don't even like half the time. I don't watch the trailer. I literally just go. I click it and it goes. Oh, Jim is fucking doing this shit in the thing, and I go, sounds okay. Press play.
Why did you watch Tenet? Why did you watch Tenet?
Why did I watch Tenet?
Yeah,
because it was backwards and forwards the same name.
Yeah, but how did you know that? Did you look at the title?
The palindrome, though.
Yeah, it was a palindrome, and I just went, "That's fucking cool."
So if Taco Cat the movie comes out, you'd watch that one too because it's forward and backwards.
I mean, who wouldn't want Taco Cat?
Exactly. Like that's what a weird argument. Of course, I'm gonna fucking watch Taco Cat. Like, yeah,
it's like Velocipaster.
What I was trying to there's definitely a market of people who literally just watch whatever's there and doesn't get.
Hi, it's me.
My litmus test, basically, if my wife comes home and someone from her work has told us that this is a good thing to watch, I know automatically it's shit. All right, so that is literally like she goes, "Oh, Steve from work says this is a great thing," and I'm like, "Okay, so first time, shit. Next time, oh, Jim from work is blah blah blah. Watch it, shit." So now she comes in, she goes, "Oh yeah, you should watch this. It's really good." I'm like, I now know that when you say it's good. Shit. It means the exact fucking opposite. I
gotta admit, I absolutely do not watch anything people from my work recommend ever.
Yeah. Well, she works at lowest prices are just the beginning. So like the people that fucking work there are either fucking senior citizens, fucking waving at the door, "G'day, yeah, welcome," or there's someone that literally does grasp the will to live. You know, they literally do not want to be there. That's every worker in that place is just like, I fucking hate my life. I don't want to be here. Like,
we're going on a real tangent here. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that, and I did post in the links before that there was a new Batman trailer for the new Batman movie came out, which I'm fucking psyched about.
Yeah,
right? I'm
I
on
saw
that
the teaser. Robert Pattinson's Batman voice is, oh, yes.
Everything about it, the entire aesthetic of it is the Batman I want to see, and I'm fucking all about it. And I liked Ben Affleck as Batman, but I like, he can go now. I'm sorry, my dude, but they have got this fucking gritty looking, just like garage Batman, and it looks great. But the thing I wanted to say was that in terms of like reviews and everything else, sure, there's all these preview stuff, and there's already trailer breakdowns, all that sort of stuff's out. But I have been working with a media company that does a lot of the Warner Brothers games. And one of the things that they sent me was all this stuff about DC Week, which is happening at the moment, DC FanFest, which is where this trailer came from. There's also a Black Adam trailer, which Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam.
Yeah, The Rock, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a little teaser of it. They're in post-production at the moment, so they did a teaser, but it just looks like The Rock is a superhero. That's pretty much what it looks like, but I'm okay with that.
They must have had to shrink the muscles and basically.
No, Black Adam's a big giant V shape anyway. He just had to skip leg day for a couple weeks. But anyway, what I was going to say was that part of this working with DC, they sent me this press pack, and they said, "Hey, if you're interested, we'd love it if you guys can cover the FanFest activities. We've got these trailers coming up. We're going to be announcing these things, da, 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 da. And it's all this sort of stuff because they see the value in people like creating hype and conversations around these products rather than going to IGN and doing the usual fucking review, preview, whatever. There's more value in like your peers talking about it than actually trying to sell it to you, you know. So they have seen that, and they sent like I did coverage for Back for Blood and recently, and one of the things was they send you a big list of legal terms and stuff you got to read through and understand all that. And I thought it was going to be like, hey, you know, you've been given this game, you know, you should give it a fair review, blah blah blah, or anything like that. There's absolutely no guidance on how or what you do with the product. As all they want you to do is state that you're giving it and that your opinions are your own. They don't care if you shit can or whatever. They just want you to be honest and talk about it, which is good. Because like I was getting to the point where I was like, well, fuck, everyone gets a free game. Of course they're going to fucking love it. And like I've been managed to get a lot of free games lately. Not a lot, but some of which I was hyped for and really, really, really thought, hell yeah, this is going to be a great game. And it wasn't. And I just said it wasn't. And everything's fine. So sorry, Biomutant.
I think a lot of that comes back to what Mitch was saying, like he doesn't trust reviews. And it's like a lot of people don't trust reviews anymore. They'd rather see.
But the companies now, they've recognized that.
They're finally clawing on. It's only taken them about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it's frustrating from a media point of view because I can tell you, like, Biomutant's actually a great example because I got a key to Biomutant to play early, but from what I can understand, I got the key before even reviewers got it. So, like, people couldn't get their game until launch day. Therefore, the reviews didn't come out till 1 or 2 days later, which means that when it's an average sort of game, you know, there were no reviews to tell people whether or not to buy it on day one. It was just people that got the game free that wanted it and were playing it and were spruiking up as a great game. Almost. Some, like me, kind of just found it a bit, yeah.
Yeah, Biomutant, it looked really cool, but yeah, seeing the gameplay,
it was cool. There was like a very large portion of that game where you do nothing. It's nothing at all, really. You just wander around. I'm like, oh, this would be cooler if, you know, like this boss fight's cool, but it took me 2 hours of wandering through nothing.
Would somebody say wandering around? I love walking simulators.
So you love New World then?
I do. Yes, I don't want mounts.
But you finished New World. You finished.
Yeah, you're done. You're level 60.
Because, you know, it's just the thing. I got to level 60 and now everyone's like, all right, from now on, you have to just grind for gear and like get better gear. I'm like, I thought I was just good.
Right, when I started reading up on gear scores, I had massive Destiny flashbacks. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Trying to do the witch over and over again just to get a fucking pistol that had lucky shot in it.
It's that God. Again. Like,
yeah, it really is.
Who the fuck tries to tell us that fucking Destiny isn't an MMO? It's got all the fucking MMO shit in it.
It's an MMO light.
I'm fairly new to this sort of thing, so it definitely has been a bit of a wake-up call.
Well, Destiny, it's a race to finish the game so you can start the real game, which is grinding loot for gear score, basically.
That's what this is too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone's like, congrats, you're level 60. That doesn't
now the real game
mean
begins.
shit anymore.
Yeah, like I back in the day used to play a shit ton of Division and Division 2.
Division's
and it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's race to the finish and then you start playing the game.
I remember Division 2 I had a couple of mates and we'll sort of going through it. Game's great, by the way. Like, just play the game. Game's great. The other game, which is you get to the end, they're like, what is it? Oh, fuck, I forget how it goes. It's like, I finished it. And they're like, oh, you finished it? You have to get world tiers now. I'm like, okay, cool. How do we do that? Then we run grinding gear, and I got to world tier 2, and then 3, and I'm like, how many world tiers are there? It's like, this just keeps going. But the thing that got me with that was like, I'm like, what am I doing this for? They're like, oh, to get your gear score up. Like, yeah, but what for? They're like,
to do harder stuff.
To do harder stuff to get gear score. I'm like, yeah, I could. I'm out.
Yeah.
But now that's like in this, it's like you need to get your guild score up because you need to PvP to get territory if you want to get that territory. And so all of a sudden there's a reason. And that's where things like Destiny used to do really well because they used to make all the raids just that fraction too hard where you need a better gear score to be better. And then so you'd grind it to get into the raids and they had that end game goal. So it's done well and I can see the grinding that needs to happen in New World now for us to, you know, get to that next
We
level.
got fucked yesterday in War.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why we got fucked.
Yeah, but that was... Yeah, it was rough. They definitely have a lot of better gear than us.
For context sake, the game's been out, what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
3?
Nearly 3? Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks now.
Went over 2, just over 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the majority of the server is in that 50 to 60 level mark. Yeah, like they're at that end game. Majority hasn't finished the story missions. They've just leveled to that point. But once you get to that point, then all of a sudden it's all about getting legendary drops, getting higher crafted gear, getting gear that has a better score to it, basically, which will adds to things like your armor, and you have perks that give you like crits or health or whatever. So the entire server's been grinding this, but at the same time they're fighting for territory, which is PvP stuff. And what was discovered yesterday was the people that had a lot of territories early on because they brought it or they were leveled faster than everyone else, don't have as good a gear as some of the other factions in the game. And when you put 2 level 60s against each other, the one with the better gear is the stronger party. And they've been sort of dominating at the moment, which is fine. I still stand by that we can have our Mighty Ducks moment.
I mean, the Mighty Ducks had to lose a couple of games to win the good one. You know what I mean? And that's, like, I genuinely feel is going to have to, like, we'll get better. Like, when you lose, you learn. When you win, you don't.
Yeah.
That's pretty much...
I mean, if Destiny's taught me anything, give it 2 more weeks and everyone's going to have the exact same build at the exact same power level, the exact everything. Yeah. So...
Yeah. And then it'll be who can click on the head better, basically.
Exactly. And then it becomes a skill.
Comes down to skill.
Yeah. So we're fucked.
Unfortunately, hey, speak for yourself. Like, not all of us stand there with a shield and just hold right click the whole time.
Wow, I pressed left click twice.
And he presses Q, E, and F sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I mix it up. I'm not like some of the other people who fucking they're QRE and then they're left, right, left, change weapon, E, left, right, change weapon. Quick hot swap. This.
Excuse me? Is that about me?
No, it's not you. I'm talking. You use 2 weapons. Yeah. There's people in our company that use more than 2 weapons. They hot swap as they go.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard to hot swap.
That's the level of dedication. Like they must have like. I mean, we talk a lot about toes, but they must have like 12 fingers to do this shit. I don't know. It's nuts. Oh, they're playing with their toes. Well.
Have you seen that before? Where it was like a Dota competition, and like his guy had played like he's won it. He's played like fucking every tournament and come first or second. And there was like a veterans battle. Yeah. And he sits there, he leans back, puts his foot on the fucking desk, and plays for 20 minutes with his fucking feet as he's like sitting there playing against the other person who's and he's like, this is how good I think I am. And he won. He fucking won.
What does my mind go to? What else can he do with his feet? What? Imagine having that sort of...
Why are you thinking about that?
I've just got to Google it. I've got to Google something real quick. The creator of Super Smash Brothers, while he was like creating the game and balancing it, he realized like he pretty much created it on his own, and like no one else was there to help him. So to like balance test the game, he would sit there with 2 controllers, one per hand. He was playing one per hand. Like he learned to play the game and kick up like one-handed. I mean, it was the mid-90s.
I thought you were going to go with here, Meech, was that it's a thing now. Super competitive gamers are setting up pedals so that when their 2 hands are busy, they've got pedals that help them do other things as well.
Yeah, that is a thing. I knew it for a while that they did that for push to talk. That was how a lot of competitive gamers would talk to each other. They all had a foot pedal.
Yeah, foot pedals are really useful for push to talk.
But now they've taken that to a whole new level. They have a push to talk pedal, but they've also got like 2 or 3 others.
So there's a lot of them, a lot of shooters, they'll have it as like almost like a crouch, so like a drop shot sort of button.
Yeah.
With their foot. And it's like they can do jumps or leans or dodges, all that sort of stuff just with their feet. So they get that extra movement. And fuck, this is going to sound nerdy, but like it was a whole thing back playing COD competitive games to get like a scuff controller. Because one of the things that a scuff could do is you hit a back pedal to jump, which normally that would be your thumb would move off the stick to the jump button, and that time is time that you can't aim because your thumb's off the stick, so you get a scuff so you can jump. Like, it sounds super nerdy, but in practice, it's fucking right. Like, you can jump and continue to aim at the same time, which is an advantage. So
one of the things I used to do in Destiny 2, Destiny 1, which I played on the PlayStation 4, is I actually got one of the adapters for keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But I didn't use a keyboard because I didn't have one that was like portable enough. I used to take my PlayStation to my mate's house. So I had a Razer Nostromo, like the gaming keyboard keypad thing.
Yeah.
It's like one hand. But I actually sort of found that playing normally on that was really janky. So I ended up basically using left click on the mouse as like move forward and right click as jump. And it was like I'd shoot with my thumb on the keypad. It's like people find some really weird shit to make work to just get that little bit of an edge.
So my mate had one of those things for his PlayStation during Destiny 1, and you can also program button presses into it as well, like macros basically. And he goes, "Oh, there's this new trick I've learnt that I just got to download this little file and I'll stick it in and whatever." And he goes, "It's to do with the Titan. We have Titan hammers." And then they go, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I can spit out 500 of them in 10 seconds.
What?
And I'm like, "What?" And then he's like, "Let's go do a vault of glass real quick." Went and did a vault of glass, got up to Atheon. He just went up and spewed hammers at it and melted him immediately. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Yeah, the game does like it was like a click cancel animation that had no limit or buffer on it or anything. So he could just literally just break the game through button presses that you couldn't humanly do, but through a computer you could do it. But yeah, they patched it like immediately the next week. But,
yeah, because that's bullshit.
But it was just like we went into PvP and he was doing it in PvP and it looked wild. Just spraying hammers everywhere.
They did that Destiny thing. I mean, everyone used to do that Destiny thing, trying to do the speed run or solo runs of every single raid.
Yeah.
And I remember when
the man himself was the tag. He did a lot of them.
Yeah. And there was the sword glitch where you could get a sword, you jump, shoulder charge, sword, jump, shoulder charge, and you literally could fly.
Yep. So he could do that with his little machine as well, so fast that he would actually gain height.
Exactly. Like that's the thing. Like, and then that came in, like people, and it was like one guy was like, I use the macro, but it's doing the exact thing I would do anyway.
Yeah.
But just with one button. And I'm like, nah, that's still fucking cheat. Like, that's cheating. That's not
cheating. Yeah.
Like, it's just basically saying, well, I could do this. I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered to do it. But I can.
There's something about Destiny in particular where a good cheese is better than actually playing the game. And I know, particularly through Destiny 1, some of the cheeses, I would sit there and go, How do they find this cheese to begin with? Crota had some great ones. One of the best Crota ones I remember was that you go up and you knock him down so he gets down on his one knee. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the host pulls the LAN cable out of his PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he doesn't get up again. He just sits there and we just wait for the guy to reconnect. And then we wail on the boss and it's over. He just fight back.
That was a good one. Vault of Glass when you could push him off.
Yeah. When you could push him off with like fire grenades is a fucking... Yeah. I was the most popular warlock in town that week. Everyone needed a warlock. It's like...
Warlocks represent.
It's fucking great. But it's like no one wanted to play the actual game. Everyone preferred a great cheese.
Yeah. There was a cheese for the King's Fall at the beginning when 2 had to stay in the middle, 2 had to go to the left, and 2 had to go to the right. And then you had to go up to the middle, get the buff, go back down. Yeah. And it was... I remember there was a cheese... Right. It was a cheese where basically no one did that. And you just went into a corner and you all stacked.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like that was the cheese. And then they had to fix it, which made the mechanic harder. They fixed it, couldn't cheese it, but they made the mechanic completely different anyway. Like it wasn't going as intended as they first, and it was just no one got past that first point.
Well, when the Vault of Glass came out first time, they figured out that the people that get randomly teleported were the 3 people closest to the front of the room. So then if you didn't want to get teleported, you go to the back. And the devs were like, I mean, yes, that's how it works, but you're not meant to figure it out. They quickly patched it because it's
how dare you?
It's not random. It's like, no, it's not. We figured it out.
Are you making us actually try and make it random? You fucks! How dare you try and make us calculate a random fucking generation? That sucks, man. How could you?
It's hilarious, but it's I don't know. Destiny, it's great. You see all those cheeses, and now that we're in New World, and like particularly those who play Destiny and stuff like that, it's the same thing. You hear about a cheese, and you're like, I mean, yeah, they're definitely cheesing it, but I best go have a look, for myself. Yeah. It's
just educational.
What's that?
10 levels later. Yeah, it was good cheese. It was all right. I hope they patch it, though, before anyone else could
this boss won't stop spawning and is dropping legendary loot? I better make sure that's the case.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look over here. Oh, look, it is true.
Just to stay on Bungie for one bit.
Yes.
I literally called this prediction. And it fucking happened, right? So when Destiny 1 came out, they spent... It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't great. Like, the Vault of Glass was the only content and all that sort of stuff. And then slowly over almost 2 years, with all the DLCs...
They just filled the map to the point where it's just chonkers.
But they actually understood the PvP mechanics. They fixed, like, certain light score stuff where you didn't have to put on, like, random pieces of armor to get your highest light score when you picked up your fucking shit. Like, so, like, it got to that point where, like, over 2 years, they fixed Destiny, and it was like, sweet, they can bring all of that into Destiny 2. And the PvP will be fine. The rolling will be great. Sounds good. Destiny, I said, I guarantee you, Destiny 2 is going to be exactly like Destiny at the beginning, and they're just going to spend 2 years fucking making it like the same as Destiny at the end. And they did. That's exactly what they did. They fucking brought out Destiny 2. It was fucking shit. And all the stuff that they had fixed, they didn't bring it over.
To be fair, in the process between 1 and 2, Activision brought them and like took over completely.
Yeah,
Activision bought them towards the tail end of Destiny 1, didn't they?
Yeah. It was like, but at that point, they basically got told, give up on D1, time to work on D2, give me my microtransactions, baby, make it rain. Is basically what they got told, right? And then in the process of splitting off of fucking Activision, they went, okay, we'll just listen to the fans, and all the fans are screaming, just make Destiny 1. And they're like, okay, so then they just brought all Destiny 1 stuff back. Like, it's the whole, I mean, we know how fucked Activision is now, but,
Activision bought Blizzard. Activision got Destiny under them.
Yeah.
And then Activision got Blizzard.
Yeah, it all happened all at the same time, basically.
It all happened. So then Activision were like, yeah, we're fucking taking control. And so Blizzard was like, okay, we'll take control of you now. And then Blizzard just fucked everything and sexual fucking...
Yeah. Well, that's a whole fucking thing. But anyway, it's all messed up. And the thing that people always forget about this, but like Activision were publishing Blizzard. Sorry, Activision were publishing Destiny long before Blizzard got their hands on, and they actually brought out all the everything. And the whole shit came from Activision had got this deal where they got Destiny, and if you remember the Destiny, like before Destiny came out, the hype around the fucking we got a space shooter coming, those huge fucking live action ads that they'd made, and all that sort of stuff. So Activision was sitting down at the table with PlayStation, and they were talking about their Call of Duty exclusivity at the time, with the generation change from 360 to the next to PS4, because Call of Duty made that leap across. And then they're like, hey, we've got this other thing called Destiny. You're interested? And PlayStation's like, yeah, we'll give it a go. And they signed this whole exclusivity deal, and then it all blew up. And everyone's like, why does PlayStation get exclusivity? And they're like, literally, we're just at the right place at the right time. There's no anything else to it. It was literally they were just already in the room talking about Call of Duty.
And the exclusivity was literally they got it 1 month before everyone else.
Well, no, some of it was a year. Some of it there was a strike and some exotics that didn't come to Xbox.
And some PvP maps as well. Then there was the exotics. I remember the exotics.
Like, it was a pretty big deal for some of the stuff, like the Silverhawk, Silvermoon.
Yeah, Hawkeye. No, Hawkmoon.
God, you guys are so close on every front.
I know, right?
So the flip side to all this is now Destiny 2 and apparently all the DLCs are not only on console on Game Pass, but are coming to PC on Game Pass as well.
Awesome.
I remember Hawkmoon being Dr. Moon. I mean, Dr. Lupo's.
I was going to say Dr. Moon.
Dr. Lupo used to have the Hawkmoon. That was his thing.
That was a thing. That, you know what they did. That's one thing that Destiny did really well. And I know that they've done some patented stuff around, some AI shit around it. But if they had a fucking exotic drop that was like a hard to get exotic drop, somehow all the streamers and content creators managed to get it and talk about it continuously.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else could not get that fucking gun. Yeah. And we're running bloody raids every single week trying to get it. Not, Galahorn is a great example. The myth. The legend.
So long.
Do you remember there was a spaceship you could get when it wasn't even a raid. This is what happened. It was a nightfall that happened once every 6 weeks. And someone figured out during the nightfall, you could trigger a whole new level, a whole new storyline if you ran away.
Yeah, they did.
And get through the door. But then you would get a ship if you then got through that door.
Quest like that too. I'm sure.
Yeah. The Black Nail, White Nail,
something like that.
Black Hammer.
Yeah. Black Hammer. It was the Black Hammer sniper rifle. Black Hammer sniper rifle, but there was a ship as well.
Yeah.
And fucking, oh my God, I ran that, I think, for 14 hours straight trying to get it. And I never got it.
I just remember they came out once and they're like, they've added a new area to the Vault of Glass. And that's all it said on Reddit. And people were like, we've gone through, and then they was putting up screenshots and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, if you go through here, jump through there, you'll find this thing. And if you press, square, triangle, square on it, you can find this and it'll make a sound. And this sound unlocks this other door and this other level. I'm like, how the fuck are these people finding this?
Yeah.
Like, how? Like we're watching it unfold. And then, so like, who went to the Nightfall and went, no, I'm going to leave and go the other direction and find this fucking mission. Like, Bungie never sent out a memo saying, there's a new level here.
Do you remember the Sleeper Simulant?
Same thing.
Yeah. Fucking Bungie was fantastic with the ARGs, like the extra shit that Bungie added.
They didn't bring that to Destiny 2 though.
Well, they tried, but
there was one ARG that they tried, but it was like super hard and no one actually got it because they'd stuffed it up along the way.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Something to do with the Black Armory.
I remember one thing in Destiny 2, and it came up very quickly, almost on day 2, was that there was a ball that you could play in the base, right? And then you would be able to bring that to a certain location. It would disappear. Then another ball would turn up, and you would take that to another location. It would disappear. And then at the end, the traveler, a giant traveler ball would come out, and it got figured out in like a day. And I just went, what the fuck? I've been playing the game and some cunt has figured this out, like literally gone through that's all they did, like literally trying to push these
that's why in. If you look at like the raids, they've got how to beat, how long to beat. The first thing is how long did it take them to figure out how to do it? Because again, when you do world's first thing is the raids, they don't tell you what to do. They just literally send you in. And I don't know how many people have done like the late game fucking Destiny 2 raids, but they're bullshit, the mechanics in them. It's like how... And so, like, we did the last one we did was when you do the space station or whatever it is. And it's got, like, this certain person can see the symbols above their head, and these symbols need to be read out to this person who has the key, who then needs to pass the key to this guy who needs to go to the other space station. Yeah. And like, how do people figure this out? And not only that...
moon, crescent, like chalice.
Yeah, and then and like even the queen one or whatever, and you have to look at the staircase and where the enemies spawn, and then someone has to look through a viewfinder to see what fucking icon, all that shit. They don't explain any of that. We just figure it out. That's Destiny, right? And then on World's First, the actual Destiny devs are sitting in a room with a fucking cinema screen with like 12 fucking live streams up, going, look at them suffer. Like legit. And I'm like, oh my, and I don't know. I don't understand how people figure it out. Like there must be so much
dedication, and it'll just be like, I think there's a lot of communication between different teams doing it.
There is. Like I've been among
stream sniping
trying to do it. Like I've been amongst it trying to do it, and like we've literally done it for 36 hours and then just given up in the past because we're like, oh, we haven't got the power. We're not enough damage to finish it. But the figuring it out is literally just like Reddit and whatever. But the person who posted on Reddit going, oh yeah, we figured out that if you stand in this corner and you look at the sun for 7 minutes and 13 seconds exactly, it'll blink black how many times, and that'll tell you how many times to shoot the boss in the 3rd level in the anus. It's like, oh wow, how'd you figure that out? I just guessed it, you know. It's it's craziness. I'm like, because we went back and we did the Vault of Glass and with a few of us, and there was a couple people that were like bitching. They're like, oh man, it's so fucking hard. You know, they don't make raids like this anymore. Blah blah blah. They're like, the new raids are bullshit compared. Vault of Glass is literally just shoot the shiny thing when they make a noise.
Yeah.
And then like go through a maze, which is not that complicated, and like you get teleported, you smack the things that you smacked earlier in the raid. Like,
again, the glowing things that make noises. It's not hard. It's really not hard. But anyway, it's fine. I honestly, with Destiny, and I know that they've got a roadmap for at least another year and a bit's content to come. But I really feel like they would benefit from making a Destiny 3 at this point. And just
I think they should just fucking make it like Bungie should go back to its roots.
They should just
do a good Halo.
They can't.
Nah, the Halo's done. They jumped off that ship and sailed it straight into 343. It's
apparently 343 is doing pretty well with Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I don't think like you're never gonna get old school Halo anymore. That's never gonna happen. But no
one wants old school Halo. Like old school Halo is fun because it's old school Halo, not because it's a good game anymore.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like Halo, was it Halo 5 was the last one?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that was their latest Halo, and they tried to like make it better at everything, and in the process, everyone's like, "Well, it's good, but it's not Halo." It's like, well, but it is. This is what it is now. But yeah, Destiny now it feels like they're just patching holes, and there's not a lot of forward thinking to it. Where if they could make a 3, you know, give us the 3 class types and maybe add a couple extra class types, add a new fucking area, like or like something, you know, just change it up, because now it feels like they're just recycling it. It's literally like I've made Destiny as a pretty good cupcake, and now I've made Destiny 2, and it's not a very good mud cake, but if I stick a cupcake on top of it, it's a pretty good game. It's like, yeah, or you could just fucking do it properly now. Because not only that, Destiny 2's old. Like that was
it's now free.
And free. Yeah. Like it's time for a new game. You know, next gen game. Let's go.
I mean, Destiny 1 is only 7 years old. Like it's not that old.
I mean, Destiny 1's a PS3 game.
I mean, let's be honest, it was never a PS3 game.
Oh, it was a PS3 game up until the last DLC. Like it kept going. I was streaming Destiny not that long ago, like last year, just for the lols. And a guy came in, he's like, "Man, I wish I could play Destiny with my friends." I'm like, "Why can't you?" He's like, "Well, I play on PS3." Like, still?
Oh my god!
I said, "What's it like?" He's like, "Oh, on weekends we get games." Like that's crazy. It's like it's some games you got to remind yourself that it's 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5, Skyrim, they're from ages ago.
Honestly, I'm surprised that Skyrim wasn't released on PlayStation. Somehow, it's like they would have found a way to release it on PlayStation, I think.
But
like OG PlayStation.
Yeah, but like that, they haven't really done anything to the game. They just upskill it, upgrade it every time, and it keeps going. But
apparently, you can fish now. Like,
yes, you can. They actually did add new features. You can fish.
What?
Did they add the features, or did the community make the features and they just put it on there?
Well, either or. It's in the official game now.
I don't know. I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out, is the game better, worse, whatever, and I went down this I just like this, just all this. I don't know. It's just general saltiness of something about how mods were free, then they were paid, and now they're in the game, and the people aren't getting paid for them. And I'm like, what? What is it better or worse? What's going on? But it feels like they just released Skyrim, and then everyone else fixed everything, and then they went and grabbed everything that was fixed and put it in the game and sold it again.
Pretty much.
So
that's kind of what Bethesda does now.
Yeah, I pick up on that as well. The only Bethesda games that I've played lately have been the Wolfenstein games and like their shooters, and that's all been fine. But I had a really bad experience with Fallout 76, and it's just like,
So you and everyone else, I think.
yeah. But I'm one of those people that I'll buy a game, and then even if everyone shit cans it, if I'm enjoying it, then I don't give a shit. But it's fine. Even if it's a bad game and I played it once and like for an hour or something, I'm like, I got an hour out of it. It's not that bad. I refunded 76. I took the game back to EB Games and I got my money back because I couldn't play it. It was broken to the point where I couldn't play. And I was streaming it and we literally got up to a mission where it's like, you need to kill this guy. I'm like, this guy's already dead. And they're like, you need to kill this guy. I'm like, yep, he's dead though. What do we do? Restart the game, restart the server, waited an hour. Couldn't do anything. Guy was dead. I'm like, all right. Can we do anything else? No, you need to kill this guy. I'm like, but he's dead. All right, refund the game. Done. It's like, apparently if someone killed him, then he doesn't come back. That was the bug. So one guy got to keep going.
That is a hell of a bug.
So, for example, Cyberpunk, right? I played through all of Cyberpunk from when it came out, through all the bugs, all the crashes, everything. Fucking loved it. Great game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't have any bugs. I didn't know what anyone was talking about. I didn't have a single bug when I played it.
I had like 3 crashes over like 20, 30 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. I played the PS4 version on PS5, and I got a crash every hour.
Who did you have to kill for a PlayStation 5? God damn.
I can tell you exactly how I got it, because people are always like, well, how did you get fake PS5?
It's sneaky.
It wasn't even sneaky, all right? We watched. I was hanging out with Jelly, and we were sitting there, and we watched the announcement trailer. I'm like, wow, that's sick! Can't wait to get one. And then we're just vibing. It was like 6 a.m. at this point because the announcement thing was at 4. And I'm like, I wonder when they're going to announce it. You know, EB Games haven't updated their website or anything. And then I was watching the EB Games website, and I'm like, oh, hang on, they have updated their website, but they haven't put the pre-orders up yet. But they are doing stuff, and I'm like, I think they're gonna open this up. And then next thing you know, the website opened up for pre-orders at 6:30 a.m. without any warning. We're like, all right, score. I got mine. Jelly got hers. It's a way to go. It's like, nice. Like so many people watched the announcement, like, oh man, I can't wait. Whew, man, I'm tired. Went to sleep, woke up, sold out. That was literally what happened. And then it was just schmozzle after that because there was so many people like JB Hi-Fi. It was like 9 a.m. and then other places were like 11 and whatever. It just became a nightmare. But I managed to score the moment they were announced. I got mine on pre-order. Got it fucking sorted. So it was good.
I mean, right time, right place.
Yeah. It's just like fucking it. Yeah, because literally, if I had went to sleep, wouldn't have got one. It's that simple. I mean, it's like people that really want it can get it. It's the people that are like, oh, I need to trade in my console, so I need to get it from EB Games. Like, okay, well, you're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah.
But, places like Big W and Target, stuff like that, they just kind of sporadically go, we've got 10. They're gone. It's basically.
Oh, I heard about Best Buy in America. They've started doing dodgy shit in that you can only buy a PlayStation 5 from them if you sign up to like their support. It's like a membership with Best Buy.
Yep.
And like they will only sell PlayStations to those people. And it's like $200 a year.
Yeah.
For a membership. It's like
a little bit of that. They did this thing with like our PlayStation's sold out, but the PlayStation pack is still available. Comes with 7 games and 2 controllers and costs you $1,200.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, but I only just want the console. Like, too bad. Basically. So people were buying that and then selling off all the accessories and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like they got what they wanted, which is to scam you out of all your money. And to be perfectly honest, and I'm basically a PlayStation fanboy at this point. The PlayStation 5 is the best PS4 I've ever owned. And like there's not many just PS5 titles available. And I think Demon's Souls, that's it. That's the only game I can think of that only came out on PS5 that didn't come to PS4. But,
the remaster.
Yeah, that's it. But every single PS4 game basically works in the PS5 except for Assassin's Creed Syndicate for whatever reason. But every other game, you stick it in a PS5 and it runs the best ever those games have ever run. So, and for me, that's what I really wanted because I was sick of my PlayStation having moments of I'm cooked, basically.
Yeah, I haven't used my PlayStation 4 in quite a while. It overheats and keeps spitting out discs.
Yep, that sort of shit. Which it's all fixable. Like but it's just it's a sign of age. Like they're pushing more and more out of your console, and your console's older and older.
It's like it's a 7-year-old console now. Like, do I really want to pay the like $500 it's probably going to cost to repair it, or?
Well, repairs and stuff aren't that expensive when I've run into it, but it's like because I had controllers that I just basically worn out, and I took them to EB Games. I'm like, whoa, what can I do with these? And like, we'll send them away to get fixed. And I think I got them fixed for $20 each.
Nice.
And I'm just like that's cheaper than a controller, and they're like new, so that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's again because I played the PlayStation so much because most of the time I was streaming with it and everything else, so I basically played it every day. When I could upgrade to a Pro, I upgraded to a Pro and so on because I just needed it to work. But the PS5 has been great. But I know, again, going back to Cyberpunk was like hot garbage on anything that was underpowered, which basically meant if you didn't have a PS5 and you're playing on a PS4, you're in for a bad time. If you had a PC, you needed to have like something decent.
Yeah. Like I had to drop a few settings down. I've got a 2070 Super.
Yeah.
And like, it ran, for the most part, fine. There were some sections that were obviously not super well optimized that it tended to chug a little bit. But, like, it wasn't as bad as a lot of... Or at least it wasn't as bad for me.
Yeah, there was definitely bugs, but we just kind of laughed them off and whatever else. It would have been interesting to see how that game went if it did run as promised. Like, from start, just no bugs.
Yeah.
I made a joke yesterday that... The one thing that I've learnt from playing MMO flat out for a couple of weeks now is that MMO players like to complain. Like they really like to complain. And if they would complain if they had no complaints.
This game's too good. I don't like it.
Yeah, basically. So then I made the joke and McDora got it immediately. Right? It's the Matrix. It's a form of control. They put bugs in there for us to complain about, so that we don't go finding other bugs. It's just to make us all happy. Because boy, oh boy, do the players in this game in New World like to fucking complain.
Oh yeah.
Just turn off global chat and you have a good time, pretty much.
I haven't had global chat since day one.
and faction chat. Turn off faction chat, turn off global chat, and you have a good time.
It's like when I fucking playing. Because like playing Apex and stuff like that on console, I don't see the text chat, but it's crossplay. So like they'll be chatting at me, but I can't see it. I'm having a great time. I'm fragging people and just having a great old time. I'm sure people are getting pissed off. People will be like, "What are you doing? Why are you looting all the time?" And I'll be like, "I'm Loba, bitch. Let me go." Like I just turn the chat off and have a good time. I do it in League of Legends as well. I just turn off the chat.
I didn't even know League of Legends had a chat. I didn't even know it had a chat.
Well, it's not going too soon. Riot is removing all chat from League of Legends.
That's amazing.
Yeah, genius.
Yeah.
I played League of Legends and everyone's like, it's so toxic. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, who's toxic? How can they do that? Like, and they went through chat and I went, I don't have chat. It just didn't come up. I didn't know it existed.
I remember
they had missed it all.
Used to be, I forget what it was. It's like Curse Forge or whatever it was. And then they had TeamSpeak built into that. And then you could like LFG games and whatever. So you'd end up playing with voice chat with randoms. And I was playing League of Legends and they were like, go support, go bottom. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can do that, you know? And they're like, why are you support? You're so shit. I'm like, because you told me to be support. Like, why are you bottom? Like, because you told me to go bottom. It's like, oh, you're defeating, you know, it's already over. You gave up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but I only did everything you told me to do. It's like, what do you want from me? That was like one game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to people in this game anymore, ever. Because fuck that. It's what a ridiculous game. But, you know, fun game when you're not talking to people.
So I'll only play the game when I'm talking with people, but it has to be like people who I've gone into this game knowing that we're all shit and that we're all just going to have fun with our champions.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, I just hate the people that are like, oh, you're top, you must play this champion. I'm like, I'm going to play this champion. They're like, that's a support. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Meta slayers, like Karma, play it any way you want except for ADC.
I can't remember I was playing the bear, but I was just going like top lane as the bear. People were like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I like him. It's fun. It's like Pokemon Unite all over again. I just want to pick Pikachu and go around and collect fruits. It's yeah. But
Pokemon Unite does look really adorable.
It's super sweaty when you get ranked, but it's fun.
It's a MOBA. It's always going to get sweaty.
But it's like you always like thought, oh shit, this is gonna be like a real MOBA, but it's a fair dinkum MOBA.
It is, yeah. It pretty is. I the one just like there is. I can get toxic sometimes.
No.
Say
it ain't right? So, Meech.
No.
You just got banned from New World for abuse.
But in these games, right, I didn't understand. For a while, I didn't understand. I'm playing ranked, right? So you'd think people would have a competitive nature in the ranked games, and I'd go, "Why are you playing ranked when you're just like here to play with everyone and have fun?" And they're like, "Yeah, because the queues for normal, no one's doing them." I'm like, "Oh, right,
yeah."
So there's no point. Like, and it's the same with Pokemon Unite. I remember I'm sitting at the fucking couch playing it, and then like I can just tell there's like someone who is, and you've done the great example. I'm Pikachu. Like, that's like, and I'm going, why the fuck are they playing competitive? Like, why are they in the competitive thing when they literally are fucking like just picking up fruit? Like,
but it's the same thing with Call of Duty, right? It's like people that go play just normal. They're like, why aren't you playing ranked when you're gonna be so fucking sweaty? And it's the people that are like, let's get a 6-stack and go do some pub stomping. It's like, okay, it's not fun for anyone.
Look, some people just want to ruin other people's fun, like Myth.
But yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of like that, yeah. But it's like we used to do it, but we'd be like, let's go knives only and just go fucking mess around, or use grenade launchers only, or just some fucking like, if you like, don't play serious. There's serious areas for serious player, and there's other areas for fucking around. But it was quite funny because long time ago, ZLB did a lot of Call of Duty stuff, and we had pro teams. We used to play on Cybergamer and Good Game, which are two very big online competitive gaming sort of forums, and did all that stuff. We did a bit of traveling, and we went to rural Victoria where they had a charity gaming LAN. They had a few big players there. They had people like Advent Gaming and stuff like that were there as well. And I don't think much of it because we were the Mighty Ducks. I'm going to keep using that. And we played against the meta, and that's why we always won, because everyone was playing the same thing. So we're like, well, we know what they're doing, so let's just combat that. And did really well. But anyway, that was 6 years ago, probably Black Ops 2, I think, MW3, Black Ops 2, around that area. And I had someone just last week come into my Twitch chat. It's like, are you the same zombies that went to this random LAN out in the fucking middle of nowhere? I'm like, yeah. It's like, wow, I was there. That was cool. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy shit. You remember that from 6 years ago? It's like, bro.
I mean, obviously you were memorable.
Oh, we were memorable. We're the team that where the pro teams were like sweating it out with their fucking, SMG build out, all that stuff. We rocked up with riot shields and shotguns.
That's like the goats of Overwatch. Do you remember if you ever played Overwatch?
Bloody
goats, right? So this team out of nowhere literally shat on every fucking professional Overwatch team, all of them, to the point where they went, nothing can beat this. The only way to compete it against them is to do goats as well. And the goats build was 3 tanks, 3 healers, no DPS. No. Right? It got to the point. It got to the point where it was a meta for everything in normal competition to competitive for almost half a year. That Blizzard went, nah, you can only have 2 DPS, 2 tanks, 2 healers now, and they literally just said no freedom of choice.
They changed the rules of the game because it was not fun to watch or play. Like,
it wasn't. No.
So I really liked supporting Houston Outlaws. They had some really cool players, but they could not run goats well. They had like really strong DPS players who they weren't tanks. They weren't support. And I remember they were trying to play, it was like a quarterfinal or something, and they came out with their normal, like what they wanted to run, their DPS thing. They saw the other team. They encountered the other team as running goats, so they just ran back into spawn and changed heroes to goats because there was just they knew that there was nothing they could do to stop it without running goats, and it's just no one wants that shit.
They were trying to do everything apart from lock in 2-2-2. Like they would do they were buffing Reaper, they were buffing all these heroes to a point where they were so overpowered. But
in anything but competitive,
yeah, exactly. But then they went, fuck it, fucking nerf everything back to normal. Everyone has to pick 2 DPS, 2 tanks, 2 healers. No fucking choice. And it's just like, oh, right, okay, yeah.
It sounds like they got a real issue with their balancing more than anything. I mean,
it was Blizzard.
It wasn't so much the balancing. Like they tried everything they could to make the balance, to make it so that goats wasn't overpowered, but. Yeah. You have the same thing in League of Legends in that, like, you're trying to balance 2 completely different games between your competitive scene and your normal player.
Yeah.
So everything they did to try and stop goats just made normal, regular ranked play almost unplayable. Like buffing Reaper, suddenly Reaper could 1v9 the entire, or 1v11 the game, and then it still wouldn't do anything in competitive play because Reaper is really easy to counter when you have the crowd control and team coordination.
Yeah, and you could literally counter his ult with D.Va's Matrix and shit like that.
Or a Roadhog hook, or like any number of things. So it just gets to a point where it's not a case of balance, it's just like the fundamentals of a game don't allow for balance.
Right.
So the point to this is the Mighty Ducks technique, Eladi.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin the fucking game, all right?
I mean, look, let's go. Instead of the Mighty Ducks, right? Let's talk about the Karate Kid, okay? Because it's, to be fair, a lot of people have done a lot of work on the fact that in the Karate Kid, the main guy, like the actual Karate Kid, is the villain when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because like he uses an illegal kick. But like he's celebrated as the victory in the main. So literally what you're talking about is the Karate Kid who went and he did it, you know, he went against the grain and won by cheating, basically.
Yeah.
But,
so, well, isn't that what Myth is basically doing with their whole gem exploit thing?
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
No, but that's not a bug, that's a feature.
Yeah.
That's
it's a feature I really want to shoot into a Myth person's face.
There's always that in games, unfortunately. I mean,
anyway, come listen to the next podcast next week to find out if we won.
We don't. You haven't even told them what's going on.
Oh,
pro tip, we lost.
Yeah, I can make the prediction. We're probably not going to win.
Shelby's playing a different game. She's in a different conversation.
Look, I'm not. I'm listening. I'm here.
What I was gonna say is, and like, because this is not new, and I want to again, I'm gonna compare it to Destiny. But does anyone remember when they brought out the trace rifles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The trace rifles were like super powered, and people are like, "Oh, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's just they're gonna kill all the enemies." Like, but what if they do it in PvP? And they're like, "Oh shit!" And then in PvP, it looked like a Star Wars game because people just lasering everyone into oblivion immediately, and they had to hot patch it within a day to get rid of it.
The exact same thing happened with the Vex Mythoclast. Like,
same thing.
Vault of Glass releases, and there's this awesome gun in it. It's this is fun to use in PvE. I
guarantee you, this gem exploit is not an exploit. It's just that they never thought about it.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Where they're going, oh wait, what? They're going to do what with the gem? No.
Yeah. There is something so weird with the bloody gems. Those are the stat conversion gems or the damage conversion gems. They just work in a really weird way.
Gems are broken. All of them are broken. The fact that I get more heat wearing something that's supposed to calming, it's there's a lot of things that are broken in it, and it didn't come to play in the game during the beta because people just like they were having fun. They were having fun. I think there's more fun in the beta than there has been in the actual game because no one brought out these big issues, these big bugs.
Well, it's the end game stuff, so it's not until you're at the end, and also it's people have now got the time to like put it into other scenarios where they go, oh, look at this does, and then they go, well, that's neat, sort of overpowered, but neat.
The solution is they just bring out more overpowered stuff in. That's probably the best solution.
So
fuck patching.
Put into context everything. Put everything into context. The green boys, in our server at least, and a lot of other servers from what I'm hearing, actually, it seems to be green, seems to be a bit of a pattern. They seem to be very, very, very strong. And people are like a little too strong, maybe. A little sus, some would say. And even though that's been the case, ourselves, being purple, and even our company, the Toes, have started wars with them. But we fully expect to run into very sus things still until there's a patch that comes out and says, "Oh yeah, this was sus." Basically,
well, there's cheat. What I fucking just blew my mind today was I was in New World OCE, and I'm pretty sure everybody that was in there got DM'd cheats saying, "Come join this blah blah blah, and you'll get New World cheats." And I went, "Can you actually fucking cheat in this game?
What kind of cheats?"
I closed the DM. I fucking blocked it. I was like, fuck that shit. But it just said, join this for New World cheats.
Elady's asking for a friend.
Oh, yeah, asking for a friend. Unlimited gold, maybe, something like that.
Well, that is actually came up in the news today as well, that it was actually really funny. It wasn't about unlimited gold, but it was about a clan or company where these guys had lost every single fucking war, everything, and the only way they were going to get a location was to buy one that no one's in yet. So they raised money over 2 companies, 200 people, to 60,000 gold, and these 2 guys, one of them deleted their character, made a new one. The guy took the 60,000 gold, gave it to him, deleted the character, and they both fucked off. Yeah. 60,000 golds.
Apparently, I've been reading on Reddit, there's a lot of that happening. Like, companies where they'll win a war, and then they'll tax like crazy out of the town, and then they just yeet all the gold and leave. So it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, they can change servers as well soon, so no one will remember who they are.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
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 I'd really like them to unlock Yama.
I mean, it's unlocked.
It is unlocked.
Yeah.
It's unlocked now.
We've been fighting level 4s. There's a level 8 I saw just before. It's crazy.
Honestly, every time I see a baby, I've been losing my shit. I've been like, oh my god, look at it.
I walked up to a guy yesterday who was level 8, and I'm like, I should be really nice to this guy. He just started. I'm like, this is your first day? He goes, okay, and then collapsed to the ground, logged out.
You logged out. You scared him so much he logged out. I think Frog and I freaked someone out yesterday as well. It was like
Frog freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah, well, true, but like they were like a level 8 running through Windswood, and Frog and I were just like chasing them, just like running after them, and other people started joining in, and that was probably a bit overwhelming, to be honest. Yeah. They just don't know how long it's been since we had new babies.
Literally.
Around, yeah.
Anyway, we're about up on for time, so I think we'll wrap things up here. It's been a very gaming heavy episode of today, but that's cool. Most of us are still living in New World, and with Freedom Day coming for us Victorians at least, we'll get a haircut and play more New World. So it'll be wild, really cut loose. But yeah, thanks for everyone for listening. It's that part where we do plug ourselves. I know, Shelby, you did one stream for your birthday.
I did. I do need to do more, but I'm
Oh, someone.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. He doesn't need to be plugged because he's already popular. He's getting phone calls.
Yeah, it seems that way.
That's his agent calling because he's done a podcast now. So, but you can find me at shellbunny.com. More streams to come. However, I have been having a little bit of technical difficulties. Or you can find me as Toe Queen, the Toe Queen of Yama server. So,
the notorious Toe Queen and Smeeech.
Yeah. I've been streaming a lot, but I've kind of taken a break from it. But if you can follow me at twitch.tv smeeech. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. You guess how many E's are there. If you get it, then you get rewarded with Meech streams.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. And Pi, I don't know if you stream or not, but
I haven't streamed in like 2 years.
But if you see once was Pi in the Yama server, you will know exactly who it is. And and otherwise there's ZLB podcasts on Twitter for all the latest updates and bits and pieces. And all the major platforms. Make sure you subscribe and like and leave comments and all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you all again.
And we love you, Belgium. I'll see you, Belgium.
Who the fuck's Belgium?
It's a country.
A country.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Belgium. Good chocolate.
Well done. All right, catch us all. Bye.